Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here at the Red Brick House. And as always, I want to say thank you all for being here and being part of the Red Brick House restoration. And, yesterday we ended up, of course, doing what we do, doing a lot of work and stuff on the Red Brick House. We went through and we fixed the brick and stuff and reset this in here. And I ended up doing a mortar that's a lime mortar. And I ended up going over this with it. I am getting a few cracks in it, but I think I'm going to be okay. By the time I start putting the next layer of plaster on top of it, it'll lock it all together. But definitely looks a lot better. And we finally got the plaster up on the wall here. And what I will say is, like anything in life, it's a learning experience. I will say that the finished plaster on here, this is the first coat. There's a little bump here and there, but I've learned about washing it over with the sponge trowel, which really and truly smooths it out, because we had plaster over here, but it blended it in really well. In comparison, when you look at over here on this wall, it's not quite as good. So I'm actually going to go over this and put a second coat on it. And you can see, because I didn't wash it like I did, it's not quite as good. But it's, like anything, I never did it before, so it's definitely better that I'm going through, and it's a dying art. There's not too many people that do this. Over here, we ended up cleaning out, and I still have a little more cleaning to do in here, the brick and stuff. Now, my wife kind of likes the darker color of the mortar as opposed to the lighter part. So I'm debating on whether or not I want to take out all of the lime plaster, mortar that I put in here and make a darker, we'll figure that out. So that'll be something later that we'll do. Downstairs, let me grab my coffee. Downstairs, we've been doing some different things, of course, to the house. My wife is putting a lot of this stuff away and organizing and things, and it's actually pretty cool. If you remember, before there used to be the door over there. Right now we salvaged the door and we basically made ourselves a nice little closet here. Definitely using that space because the bedroom is not real big. It is not big at all. We've gone through because we had some places where we needed to touch up. We've touched up the ceiling and things. I'm going to need to trim around the attic door that's upstairs right there and stuff, but that's kind of minor. And we'll go through, and now I can finish off the rest of the molding around over there. But again, that's probably like later in the day. The big thing I have to do, because I've got to get the sander back, is I could probably spend a lifetime here on nails that are in the floor. And so as I started sanding this out last night, I started seeing more and more nails flash. So I sanded it one more time, and then I went back through and hit some more of the nails to go ahead and get that stuff sanded out. And I'll be back down with the vacuum in just a minute. And there were a couple places where I just didn't put any compound. So we're gonna sand all this out, get the machine back, and hopefully this evening we'll be putting our first coat of varnish on this floor. Again, that will be a game changer if we can get that part done. In the other room here, we did have a little spot that we needed to work on, and my wife sanded it. She wants me to check it and see. It's not bad. It's not awful. No, it's not. No, not the sanding part. No, I'm talking about the finish, because that was the second coat of mine. See, normally you'll do 3 coats on there. And I'm saying it's not awful, but see, like there's a hump and a bump right here. That'll flush. But I need to go back over it just a little bit. But we're going to get that squared away. And then I can get the cap molding and stuff put on here. And we can get this room. This room will be our temporary bedroom because we have to finish doing the floor upstairs. So yeah, we got lots of work to do. And we got to put up the mini blind, of course, that's in here and also in the bathroom as well. But all in all, it's definitely coming together. So we're going to get to work right now. All right, peace. Man, so I have gone through 24, 36, and 60 and 80 grit sandpaper. So this is the original base molding. The paint was peeling on this, so I've used a heat gun and scraped all that off. This still had some of the old linoleum on it, the threshold here, so I've been used the heat gun to warm that up, pull it off, and been sanding that. I still have a little bit more to get out of there. And I need to sand around the edges here. And then we're gonna be ready to varnish this floor. And man, this is gonna look a whole lot better. I mean a whole lot better. Wow, just getting that so you don't see the red paint anymore has been a major thing. So I've got to go over to the other house and paint over there. I'm gonna waiting for my bride. I'm gonna go ahead and take the heat gun and scrape the rest of this off. All right, so we're getting close to putting down varnish on the floor here. I've gone through and I've sanded, look at the threshold over here. Gotten into the corner, although this is gonna have a cabinet and stuff on here. Some of the pieces you're gonna remember, we're gonna put quarter round to go around there. We took the quarter round off of here and we sanded that real nice, but I forgot. And this is actually amazing to me because if you've been watching this for a long time, you'll remember how the bricks were tore up here. Originally, there was a hole through the house in that corner when we first got the place in 2016. But the problem was when they fixed it, he ended up pushing the floorboards up so that way he could get the bricks in there, and some of the bricks came over too far. And the supports underneath there were rotted out. Well, from this point back, you can stand up in here. This point right here, it's only a couple of inches underneath the floor joists. So I actually cut the floor following along with those right through here, took those boards up, ended up running my water supply line into the house, ended up framing up and putting in 6x6 piers in there to go ahead and do the framework, and it is solid as rock, and put the same boards back in there. One of the boards, or actually two of them here, you can see have rotted out. We'll put the base molding and the quarter round on it, which will get it to about there, but it'll still leave some of that. Here's what's kind of cool is they had a peg right there. So what I've done, I've cut little angles on there, and I'll cut out using my little vibrating cutter to match this, so that way it'll drop it in there and I'll be able to sand that down. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this here, and then I'll pencil mark it, and I know that I'll cut it in at an angle.
it just won't stay up. Sorry, it kept vibrating and going down. I didn't have my tripod with me. But you can see how we've cut this at an angle. See how we got the angles and stuff in there? The nice thing is, that's our floor joist right there. So, let's see if it fits. Boom, just like that. Put a couple of nails in it, some glue, and we're good to go. That's a patch. Yeah. Crafty. Okay, so I think that's about as good as it's gonna get. You know, we have some things that I like to call character issues, where we had the floor was burned. Don't know if this may have been a water stain from when this house was original, that this would have been a window, not a door. And that's where water came across from the window, maybe. And then we have the other one over here. But for the most part, I think it actually looks really good. Shout out to Richard Ruggs, who sent me pictures from Pinterest. Basically, they said all these old floors, you want to keep them as rustic as possible because that's part of the charm of it. So this is definitely a bit rustic, although we filled in all the gaps, so we won't get a lot of stuff that's stuck in here. For the most part, it is pretty flat. We did patch up the spots in the floor. There used to be a floor outlet over here that we got rid of and things, and over there where the wood was rotten. But for the most part, it looks really good, I think. So I'm going to do this varnishing live on my on here, so you can see us. We'll see how it all looks together. All right, good people. Well, we varnished this live today. I think it actually looks pretty good. Of course, you can see the dark patches and things and all that, but as opposed to it being painted red and dirty and all that, I'll take this. I'm okay with that. So tomorrow morning we'll be able to put another coat on here. This actually looks like it's almost dried out, so that's great. We'll put a coat on in the morning, and then in the afternoon we'll put the final coat on it, and wait 48 hours. Well, we're going back on Friday, so when we come back, we could actually bring a few pieces of furniture and stuff, and I can get the PEX, or excuse me, not PEX, AZAC. The AZAC to go along the wall so we can get the molding and stuff put on there, and then figure out what we're going to get for the fireplace. So this room is getting closer and closer to being done. Love it.